Hi, boys and girls. I decided instead of making you do something today, I'm just going to have you listen. And what I'm going to do is read a few short stories out of a book I like. And so if you want to work on stuff while you're listening, that would be fine. Anyway, one of my favorite books, well, it's kind of one of those books where I used to think to myself, boy, I want to write a book like that for kids. And my wife said, no, that'd be disgusting. But then what do you know? Somebody did. It's called Animal Grossology. And so I'm going to just read a few short little clips and tell you a few stories to go with them. Anyway, the first section is entitled Vomit Munchers, or chyme if you want to be scientific about it. And vomit's always been kind of interesting. I don't know if you know, but the Romans used to have things called vomitoriums. They used to like to eat a lot and not have to digest it all, so they go to these vomitoriums and then they'd throw up so they could go back and eat some more. So it's not just animals that have weird habits, so do human beings, huh? Anyway, so here we go. It says, here comes breakfast, Ralph. After you hurl, you probably don't go running for a spoon. Yuck. But for some animals, vomit is a way of life. The leader of the vomit munchers is the common housefly. Hey, I just shooed one away from my sandwich. It probably left vomit on your sandwich after it had a taste. Yuck. Barf suck, barf suck. Imagine what it would be like if you ate only vomit. Although it sounds unpleasant, without constant puke action, a housefly would not survive. It would actually starve. A fly travels about in search of fly excitement. For a fly excitement, it might be tasty food treats. The fly stops here and there to taste with its feet. Wouldn't that be weird if you could taste with your feet? Bzz, stop, step, taste. Nope. Bzz, stop, step, taste. Yum, a chocolate chip cookie. Your chocolate chip cookie is waiting for you to finish your cheese sandwich. The fly finds a sweet bit, hurls on your cookie, then uses its sponge-like tongue to mop up the barf cookie soup. You finish your cheese sandwich. The fly completes its barfy cookie treat and takes off. You bite into your chocolate chip and fly barf cookie. The cookie tastes even better than usual. I wonder why it tastes different, you're thinking. Flies don't try to be rude eaters. It's just that they don't have any teeth, sucking tubes, or biting mouth parts. Flies live in a liquid diet. When a fly comes across a yummy solid treat, it retches stomach digestive juices onto the food. The digestive chemicals dissolve the solid food and turn it into a liquid. It's kind of what happens in your stomach. The fly mops up the liquid with its tongue. This really wouldn't be so bad if they didn't have such sticky feet. Sticky feet, you might be asking? The feet have claws and sticky pads. For strolling on the countertop, they use the claws. The sticky pads are reserved for the great walking on the ceiling trick. You've seen them do that, right? Behind each claw are hairs that drip gluey liquid. The fly squirts the sticky stuff, then pulls out its foot when it wants to walk. So now you know how they do that. When it moves the gummy foot, freeloaders, germs, pathogens, whatever, come along for the ride. One scientific study had a fly stroll around a gelatin plate. They're called like agar plates. You'll see them if you get into biology later. After several days, little white trails formed along the fly's path. The white trails were made of growing bacteria. They have colonies. They grow colonies on this stuff they call agar. Actually, the sticky feet aren't so bad if flies didn't also have hairy legs. And you're thinking, what do you mean, hairy legs? Flies taste with their feet and legs. Little hairs on their legs and feet act like human tongues. A fly lands on a dead bird. The little hairs brush the surface. If the surface seems edible, the fly's mouth tube goes into barf action. All right, pigeon for dinner. Oh, here's a great picture of their fly. So anytime you see fly lands on food and stuff, be thinking about that. Okay. Maybe you've watched a housefly go from spot to spot, tasting its way along your kitchen table. Often it stops to feed in spots with sugar sprinkles. This is because the hairy taste organs are very sensitive to sugar. Guess you could say that flies have a real sweet foot. Okay, the little hairs also pick up disgusting stuff such as bacteria and other germs. Sticky feet and hairy legs aren't the problem though. The real problem is that flies are not picky eaters. A fly may travel almost 15 miles over several days, tasting all the way. Bzz, a banana, yum, barf, suck. Bzz, cow dookie, that's cow feces. Yes, Ralph, lap. Bzz, Rotting dead rat. Vomit, smack, smack. Bzzz, my favorite, birthday cake. Hurl, sip. Shoo fly, get off my birthday cake. Anyone want another slice? A study of 414 houseflies found an average of 1,250,000 bacteria on a typical fly body. When a fly lands in your soup, you can't be sure where that thing has been or what it has eaten. The sticky pads and legs may be coated with numerous critters. Also, when the fly vomits, it spits out some of the leftover food from the last meal. What if that last meal was dog poop? Ew. Oh, we gotta use the scientific terms. Feces is the correct term for science. Yuck indeed. Most of the fly freeloaders are harmless, but most isn't all. To make sure you don't get sick from fly yuck, cover food or don't leave it out during fly season. Clean up any feces that may attract flies. Put screens on your doors and windows. Clean up any garage around your house or yard. If a fly lands on your food, remove the spot where the fly has tasted and throw it away. Okay, you know, with everything, we usually talk about the gross or bad things about them. Flies actually do some good. In the past, they used to use flies to actually sterilize wounds. What would happen is if your tissue starts to die for whatever reason, it can get gangrenous and basically bacteria forms and kill you. That's why they end up amputating things like that many times. But one thing they used to do in the past was, well, one guy's reading about World War II didn't have the necessary materials, and they put a very thin screen over it, so the flies would go on there, land, lay their eggs, and then little maggots would come out. And the maggots produce this type of chemical. If you've ever been around animals, it has lots of maggots in it. The chemical is very overpowering, but it sterilizes, it kills pathogens. And another weird thing about them is they only eat dead flesh. So people that have, you know, infected wounds and things like that, they used in the past, they make sure flies got in there. The maggots would lay their eggs. They eat all the rotten tissue away and only leave the healthy meat that was left. And so they do some good, say. In fact, I don't know if they still do this. They used to get an antiseptic, some kind of things that they used to use flies for. So see, flies do have some good. One of my most hated insects are hornets. If you ever stepped in one of the hornet's nest or bumped into, you know what I mean? I don't know if this part's true or not, but it says in the book, it says, hornets eat houseflies. Some American settlers hung hornets' nests in their homes to get rid of the flies. I don't know. I pretty much kill both of them. I don't like either one, but that's just me. Okay, I'm going to read you one more story. Let me jump around to something else here. They got a lot of cool stuff in this book if you ever want to get it. Okay, no, I'll come back to that. That's another thing that vomits. Oh, I know what I'm going to read you about. How about if I read to you about this, one of my favorite fish? Now, these are the reasons why you have to, there's a lot of fish, you know, you have to get permits for to make them enter the United States. There's all kinds of problems worldwide with people that get pet fish, whether it be piranhas or whatever else, and they just release them into the wild. And then what do you know? They start populating areas and don't have any natural predators too. But anyway, here's a fish. I don't know if this is true, but this is a fish that I thought they should carry in pool supply stores. It's called a Kanduro fish. There's lots of tales about what these things do. Don't know if it's true. I couldn't find any on the internet, but I'll read to you a little bit about this. Just when you thought it was safe to get in the leech-free water, we'll read about that later, the Kanduro fish arrives. This little beast, only an inch long and toothpick thin, has a very gruesome habit. It swims up the breathing gills of fish to feast on their fresh blood. No problem, I'm not a fish. I don't know if you're aware of that. Fish can urinate actually out of their gills as well as the other spot, you know? So that's what they're attracted to. It says, there's no problem, I'm not a fish. Yes, problem. If you bathe or pee in Kanduro-filled water, the fish might confuse your body with the opening of a fish gill slit. Getting where this is going. The little menace travels up your body parts. Usually it swims up the pee-pee tube. Well, it's actually called a urethra. Attaches with barbs on its head and sucks your blood. The little pointed head makes it impossible to pull out. You know how it is kind of like a hook where the points are pointing the right direction. You can't get it out. Surgery is the only way to get rid of it. Hey, but at least they wouldn't pee in your pool anymore, you know? Okay, excuse me, doctor, I was peeing in the water and I took on a little friend. Actually, you need not worry much about meeting a Kanduro. They live only in South America right now. So don't be afraid if you come over to my house, use the pool or something. All right. Okay, let me read one more story. And I don't know which one I want to read about next. Hey, I know, we'll see if you get this. One more. I'm going to go back to one more animal that likes to vomit. Okay. Try this on someone who thinks they know a lot. Get a piece of paper and ask the volunteer to draw an animal from the following description. It has no head or brain. Most animals of this kind have 5 or more arms, but no fingers. Attached to the bottom of each arm are feet, but no legs. The feet are usually in pairs, and one animal can have over 1,000 feet. In the center of the feet is this animal's toothless mouth. This animal is often covered with bumps or little spines. It comes in various colors, such as purple, red, and yellow. You know what this is yet? Okay. You probably get really strange drawings, but you've just described sea stars perfectly. You call them sea stars, by the way, because there's no such thing as a fish that's a starfish, because these are not starfish. Okay, sea stars live in all the oceans of the world. Sea stars, the more scientific name for a starfish is sea star. In fact, they belong in a group of animals called Echinodermata. They have spiny skin. Most sea stars look like little 5-pointed stars that you draw on pictures of the night sky. The 5 points are the arms of the sea star. The part in the middle of the arms is the body. Under the arms are rows of feet. Yep, no legs, just feet. A sea star can have as many as 1,200 little feet. The feet don't have toes or paws. Instead, they are shaped like tubes with suction cups at the end. The sucker feet help a sea star get a grip. You've seen them do this. They're really hard to pull off stuff. Sea stars are pretty weird. Oh, you have no idea yet, boys and girls. All of this is very interesting, but what about sea star vomit? Basically, the sea star eats by regurgitating in an odd way. The ocean creature shoves its stomach out of its mouth, digests the food, then sucks the stomach back in. You can watch this if you ever seen them grab a hold of like a mussel or scallop or something. Kind of like barfing backward. Imagine if that were how humans ate. Hey, see, that's what it looked like at the dinner table. Yeah, it might be kind of gross. The sea star wanders around the ocean bottom looking for other animals to eat. If it finds a clam, it wraps its legs around the shell. The suction feet attach to the clam and pull. Talk about a bear hug. The sea star needs to open the shell only a tiny bit. A slit as thin as the edge of one page of this book is enough. Then the hungry beast upchucks his stomach into the opening. Once inside, the stomach releases chemicals that digest the soft body in the shell. After the body is liquidy, the sea star sucks the barf dinner along with the stomach back into its mouth. Ugh. Do you think sea stars burp after a big meal? I've never seen one barf or burp ever, boys and girls. Seal poop is a chosen food for one type of Antarctic sea star. When attacked, some of the sea stars lose or throw off an arm or two, then grow new ones later. Before humans understood this, clam and oyster harvesters cut sea stars into pieces and threw them back into the ocean. They thought they would get rid of the sea star pest that way. Instead, how's this for weird? The sea star pieces became a new sea star and huge population explosions occurred. Look up the crown of thorns for around Australia. That's one place where it's really famous for that. They cut these things up and they all grew. So instead of getting rid of the starfish, they grew exponentially because all the pieces grew into a new starfish, and then pretty much wiped out whole reefs and stuff. Oh, another gross thing the book didn't talk about. This is even grosser to me. You know what your mouth is. I'm not sure if you know what your anus is. That's where poop comes out, feces, okay? If you're a sea star, not only do you eat in the same opening, they call it in science defecating. You poop out through the same opening. So you're pooping and eating through the same opening. I don't know about you, but that's grosser than anything else they told me in the book. But anyway. Well, that's it for now. There's three little stories I showed you. There are lots of good, interesting stuff in there if you feel like checking this out of the library. So that's it for today. I could tell you more gross stuff about all these animals, but that's it. See you later, boys and girls. Bye for now.